My next guest is going to bring up something that you probably don't want to hear about, but it does have an effect on the culture, whether you like it or not. Taylor Swift. Why are we talking about Taylor Swift on the James Show? Well, Taylor Swift has now officially endorsed Kamala Harris. Trump's reaction is something that we're going to have to break down for you. John Rizvi's back on. He's the patent professor. Welcome back to the James Show. So what is the current plot line we have going on with Taylor Swift and Donald Trump, John?
Yeah, well, first of all, always a pleasure to be here. The plot line changes very rapidly. I mean, Taylor Swift's got her Eras Tour T-shirts, which are incredibly well known. They're selling. They're very popular. And then in the last few days, Donald Trump's campaign has come up with a Donald Trump Eras Tour T-shirt as well, strikingly similar to anybody that's familiar with them. There's no doubt that Donald Trump's T-shirt was inspired by Taylor Swift's T-shirt. In fact, it's really hard at a distance to really tell one from the other.
Yeah, is there going to be a copyright infringement or some sort of trademark infringement? Because parody has been protected. You're allowed to parody other people's ideas or logos or designs. Is that going to be enough to protect him here, or is he in some sort of intellectual property violation?
Yeah, so that's actually going to give him a lot of protection, and the biggest factor is that it's, even though the shirts are confusingly similar, there's two aspects. One is copyright infringement. The other one's trademark infringement. The test for trademark infringement is consumer confusion and whether somebody would purchase one thinking that it was a product, thinking that it was the other. That's highly unlikely in a case like this, when you have people purchasing the shirt really for purposes of showing their support for a candidate. So it's going to be an uphill battle for Taylor Swift to show that people are purchasing Donald Trump's campaign T-shirt thinking that it was Taylor Swift's. There's a lot of factors the court will look at where they are purchasing. Like if they're on the Donald Trump campaign website purchasing a T-shirt, it's going to be hard to convince anyone that purchaser is actually believes that they're buying the Taylor Swift T-shirt. So that's counting against Taylor Swift's trademark infringement lawsuit. Now, as far as copyright, there's a lot of basis for a fair use defense that the Trump campaign could use, including, in fact, even that a part of it is free speech, and it's a restriction on free speech to prevent their sale. One big factor is that the impact of their shirts, so they could argue, the sale of their shirts is not really impacting the sale of Taylor Swift's version of the T-shirt. It's not as if the purchasing consumers think one is a replacement for the other or a substitute for the other. If you support Taylor Swift and you're a fan of Taylor Swift, you're not going to purchase the Donald Trump campaign T-shirt.
Yeah, and when I read on this story, people are calling for Taylor Swift to sue Trump. I was assuming that it has to be something more like the counterfeit stuff that you see when you go to the wrong store and you buy a Gucci bag that's spelled with a CH instead of two C's. You know, people are confusing that for a real Gucci bag, but I didn't see any way that this could be confused for a real Taylor Swift shirt. So the people that are calling for a lawsuit, they're going to be disappointed, is what it sounds like.
You nailed it. It's going to be an uphill battle to show that there's any actual confusion, and the parody defense is a really strong defense in this case.
All right. Well, I hope this is the last of Taylor Swift's intervention into the election cycle. John Rizvi, where can they find your work outside of the James Show?
Yeah, so the website is The Patent Professor, and that's our handle pretty much on all social media. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, just type in The Patent Professor and you'll find us.
All right. Let me know if any other intellectual property election-related stories come up. I'd love to have you back on, John.
Of course. They seem to never stop this with this election. It's one after the other. A lot of intellectual property concerns continuously, including the songs played at the candidates' rallies, which are constantly, receiving cease and desist letters. Donald Trump is for use of copyrighted music.
Right.
So there's no shortage of IP issues in this campaign.
No kidding. I guess not. All right. This is John Rizvi. Find him at thepatentprofessor.com. If you have some intellectual property issues, you know a patent professor now. Thepatentprofessor.com.